Hey guys, Mick from Liquid Existence here, and today I was just going to show you what I ended up buying a few weeks ago. And the main reason why I brought it is that, you know, I still love running around fishing the rivers, fishing some comps and all that. And prior to that, I had a Stony Creek camper, and obviously you can't tow a boat and tow the camper at the same time. So I thought about other ideas, but I still really enjoying tournament fishing when we're allowed to do it, when COVID's not allowing us. But regardless, you know, we've gone out of the way and we've decided to get a Palomino SS500. So one of the main reasons why we got this was that, you know, we're towing a bass boat, and ultimately we can't put that on top of a car, we can't put it on top of a trailer. So, you know, we ended up with the Palomino for that obvious reason. We watched a lot of videos and we oomed and ahed and all the rest of it, and we looked at a lot of slide-on campers, and look, there's some great Australian campers out there, but I sort of felt like this was probably the one for us. The first reason is I think it's a little bit lighter, and there's a few little things in here that you know, that we're looking forward to. Everything's electric on this, so the roof pops up, it's electric. The jacks pop up, they're electric. I guess the other thing is that, you know, having a few kids and that, we still needed a dual cab, and so that's why we've gone with the 500, because it's specifically for a dual cab. We've got a little bit more work to do before the bass boat will get on there, but you've now taken this away a couple of trips now, and I thought I'd talk a little bit about what we've done, what could have been better, and what's just outstanding. Okay, so I guess we'll start around on the side and we'll work around the exterior, and then we'll go inside. So the first thing that you see here is the electric jacks. These are an optional extra, but I recommend getting them. There's nothing worse than having to go around each point and then wind up, drop down, drop down. One of the things are when you are putting these into the tray, there's not much room to move. Our trays are quite wide for these sorts of things, and you've only really got about, lucky to be, an inch on each side of this. The flip side to that is it's actually quite good. You know that you've got that small margin of error, and it's easier to sort of line everything up. If you notice that something's not quite right, you just got to go back and realign yourself again. So it's a 5-pin plug into the car. Now we've also got a DC-DB charger in the Ranger running another battery. So this hooks up into that, and also, other than running the lights for the camper itself, it also runs the fridge in that as well. Probably also another thing to note is that it also does have a solar panel on top. We'll go and have a look at the regulator once we get inside. So first off here, we've done a couple of mods straight off the cuff. Okay, so we have a main power point here for 240 inlet. We have our 12-volt sockets there to run an Engel fridge, and also some lights or anything else that we need to. And down here is the gas connection for our BBQ Weber. And if you come around here, you can see that the BBQ actually sits quite nifty in there, and there's still a little bit more room to put something in there, but you know, we'll see how we go. As we move across here, you'll notice that when I open up all these doors, they just click in like that, and it's pretty handy. They're not sort of, you know, it takes a bit for them to pull back, so they're pretty handy to, instead of having to hold it and do things like that. So in there's your 9.5 gas bottle. Okay, so we're just at the back of the camper here, and one of the main things that you do have here is that you do have your pull-out door latch there, your handle, okay? And that is just an easy, doesn't flip in the wind, pretty easy going door there. You know, you can get it to any angle. It's not going to slam shut with the wind, so it's another great thing that to come up with there. We also, down here, also have some brackets as well, and that's for if we want to leave the camper on the car, we've got some steps. And you know, it makes it a little bit more easier. Now, one other thing I guess with that is that you do have the option of doing other awnings and things like that, but if you go a heavier awning, I'm pretty sure that you're going to have to mount it on this part of the Palomino and not on the roof like we have with the Dometic. So just something to keep in mind if you are looking at these. So I'll just come around to the other side here. So the other side, if we can imagine this, these things have come from America, and they're really made for style side. So the beauty of, I guess, when they come out to Australia is they've got to fill in all these parts to get on our tray utes. So what that means is that we get some really good storage. And so if you come in under here, You can see that I've just got all my power cords, tools, electrical cords, tools, water hose connections, more connections, batteries, other things like that that you need. There's a fair bit of room up there. Chairs and a couple of awnings and my set of lights. But I think this actual compartment's a bit over 450 by 1800 long. It's all one unit. You can size what they want to do. And like I said, they just shut down nice and easy. Now in this little particular area here, this is obviously the gas area. We won't go and open that. So that does all their hot water. But I will open the little shower there. So we just have a shower hose and obviously hot and cold water. We have city water connection, and then we have the drain plug. And so with the fresh water connection here, basically that's to a 32 litre water tank. This window here, it also slides out. It's also an emergency window as well. Okay, and if you can have a look up here, you see that all the vinyls over that hangs that, and you know, it's quite sturdy. All right, now we're going to go inside the camper and have a little look. Alright, so now we're inside here. As you can see, there's not a lot of room to move, but it's comfortable enough for a few people. You'll see that you've got benches on this side, and then you've got your sink and your 2-burner gas stove here as well. So just lifts up. You've got one that sort of is a high burn rate, another one that's a smaller burn rate, and then you've got your sink here that basically it's hot and cold, and it's done by the gas. So our gas unit is sitting down here, and it's just on. It usually takes about 8 to 10 seconds to kick in before that water starts heating up. And just down here we have our solar regulator. So at the moment, obviously with the solar panel out, it's sunny, it's running at 13.6. It's telling me that it's full. Okay, and so that's a good little device just to show where your batteries are at. Obviously when it goes down at night, that'll drop down because at that, we know we're running our Dometic fridge at the same time. But when the sun comes up, it picks it back up to speed pretty quick. And so also on this side, we've got the 2 drawers here. Now, in this circumstance, we've just put a bit of, you know, normal kitchen-y sort of stuff that you'd have, a couple of bug sprays, things like that. And over here is just our detergents and all that, obviously above the sink. Above the sink, we just have this little hack that we've just done here just to put our washing up bits and pieces in. Okay, now the door slam pretty well shut there. They're like magnetic, they don't open it. That's good. Over this side here, we've decided for this to be our pantry, and what we've just done there, it's quite a high sort of area, so we've put a shelf in there just so we can put some more stuff in there, and that seems to be working quite well. Above here, we've just got a couple of our knives and forks and kitchen utensils, and they're just sitting on a bit of non-slip surface. They seem to sit all right when we're traveling. And obviously this is just space here. We've got sort of like what we put the dishwashing on, that sort of stuff. So one other upgrade that we did do, we decided to go away with the Dometic 3-way and just go with a Dometic just battery powered or electrical powered fridge. Inside you'll see that it's 110 litres by the way too. It's actually quite big. I was actually quite surprised the first trip that we did that I was amazed with how much stuff I could actually store in there. I definitely thought I was going to need a second fridge just with the few kids and that, but it turned out that it was pretty good. Nevertheless, I'll still probably take a second fridge because I don't mind a beer or two. Okay, so obviously with the power legs for this, there's a few little things that you've got to use, and we've got a remote control here that controls the legs. Also it controls the roof as well. And basically we've got a little switch here to turn it on. So basically you turn that on, and then you sort of, you know, you lift and and lower and do whatever you need to do with all handheld remote. So you can walk around the whole unit watching it go down, making sure everything's stable, square, you know, when it's coming on your trail, when you're sitting it down in this circumstance, to make sure that everything's all right on the ground. So it's really good. Just here's just our battery disconnect. So at the moment we're going to shut everything down because we're finished probably our second trip now, so we're going to shut it down. And but yeah, that's just your switch, and obviously a fire extinguisher there. So what we've done here is that there is a kitchen or a dinette that can go in here with a table, 2 seats, but with the young fella we've just converted it to a little bed, which is standard, comes with all the Palominos. Now, the main reason that we don't use a kitchenette is pretty much we do everything outside, and all we tend to do inside is go to sleep. So I think, you know, if we had some bad weather or whatever, we may rearrange it, or if I just go and use it by myself, if I go on a fishing comp or something like that, I might, you know, get rid of the bed and put the dinette in. But it's just something that I thought that wasn't really necessary to have, especially when we have tables and that we take outside. Now, what I'm sitting on here is a queen size bed. Well, it's not quite a queen size bed, but it's close enough. The dimensions are a little bit out, but nevertheless, it came with like a thin latex mattress. Now, it was probably just a little bit firm, so we went to Clark Rubber and got a $100 topper for it, and it's actually quite great now, so I don't mind it at all. Over the sides here, we just have the standard sort of, you know, wind them up, Velcro on, and then just zippered sides to open up the windows and let some air in. And above us, we've got our little air vents. There's 3 of these, and then the one at the back actually has a fan. So we tried the fan. It works all right. It's not like a ceiling fan at home, but you know, other than that, it's not too bad. All right, so that was a quick tour of our Palomino SS500. I hope you liked it. I think some of the pros are obviously the idea of towing a boat, and towing a good boat, not just a little 3.7 metre or 4 metre car topper. You know, you can tow, you know, hopefully up to a 6 metre boat. You should be able to do that. One of the downfalls is, and it's not really spoken about much, and I think it needs to be addressed, is having GVM upgrades and the right weight on your vehicle. So at the moment, we've just taken this out without obviously the trailer. I know what the trailer ball weight is, but you know, it was around about 3,300. Now the GVM upgrade to a range is about 35, so we'll be on that borderline of at its capacity. So it's just something to remember. I know there's other cars out there that can do a little bit better than that. Your cruisers, some of the Yank tanks can go a higher GVM, but there's a lot of 4-wheel drives out there that can't achieve what a Ranger or a BT50 does. So if you have them other sorts of cars, whether it be a Toyota or D-Max or something like that, you really got to consider what weight you'd be putting into these. Now we had this probably, I don't know, maybe 2/3 full. And we had all our water tanks, and we had probably about a bit over half a tank of petrol. So it's just something to consider. Doing the upgrades aren't cheap. I think by the time you do the upgrade and we added the airbags, you're looking at about $7,000. Now I believe Palomino Australia are now, the price has gone up on these a little bit, and they're around about 35,000 Australian now. So you really got to consider, you know, if it's definitely what you need. There are other slide-ons out in the market that are obviously a lot more expensive than this, but it's really a consideration of what's going to suit you best. But I think in our circumstances, I think we've had the right call here, and we've done everything, you know, with the GVM upgrade, all them sort of bits and pieces, and I think it'll work out fine. So until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If there's any questions or queries, just drop it in the comments box. I'll answer them. And yeah, we'll go from there, and hopefully we might do another video maybe 12 months down the track, just to see if there's other little things that I might do to it. Okay, all right, hooroo.